Well, welcome again. It's another cheapwinefighter.com podcast. This is Domain Dave. We've been having a few expensive wines recently, so we're going down to a $10 wine from ALDI, which is a good place to get wine. They have good quality. They don't have a big selection, but they got good quality. And what we have here is the William Wright Monterey County Pinot Noir 2020. And that's a wine they've had for a while, and it's made by Sheed Family Vineyards out of Greenfield, Monterey. This is an estate wine. It's they have, I think, 12 vineyards in Salinas Valley, and the Monterey Bay brings cool air in there and makes it a wonderful place, and it's all sustainable vineyards. It's a pretty good place for Pinot Noir, and Sheed Family make a bunch of different brands, and this is the one they make for ALDI, and in places where there are no ALDI, such as, I think, Denmark. It's $18 in Denmark, in case you care, and it's $9.99 in the US of A. I'm going to take a sip, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. It's a sustainably grown estate vineyard Pinot Noir for $10. The grapes are hand selected, which that means that there are machines nowadays that can sort through your grapes, but they don't. They're getting rid of the bad ones and odd things that are going through there, and they're doing it by hand, the old school way that you pretty much should do for Pinot Noir. And then they do whole cluster, which means they dump everything into small lots of open top vats, and then the grapes kind of there's like a top kind of grape skins or whatever up there, and it turns into must. Must is when the grapes break down into seeds and whatever, all into one thing, and then they ferment it. And this is all not kind of things you do for a $10 Pinot Noir. It's when you want to make it right, this is what you do. And what else they do? Oh, they this is one of the things I'm confused about. This is aged on French oak for a year, 12 months. And I always see, it's like in oak barrels. And when you see on, they never say on oak barrels, they say on French oak. And is in and on interchangeable, or is it a different way of doing it? And with a $10 Pinot Noir, I'm not really concerned, because I'm not saying anything I don't know, because maybe in and on is interchangeable, but you can put oak staves into the vats, and they will give off the same kind of influence an oak barrel will, but at a fraction of the cost, and that type of thing. So it's French oak, and it's a year, so something's going on right. Is it in barrels? I don't know. I don't know what's going on rather than in. So I'm going to take another sip, because this is actually a pretty decent old school Pinot Noir. The reason I say old school, because Meiomi Pinot Noir, I mean, that's a huge brand. The guy who started that up sold it for $350 million. That's how much its impact was. And this is old school. This is the Pinot Noir where they're still looking towards Burgundy, where the other one, the newer model, is big and bold and more of just a red wine than a Pinot Noir, at least in my opinion. And this is old school California Pinot Noir, and I kind of like that at $10. And it's not made like a typical $10. It's got some depth to it. It's got a good nose. It's got a classic nose. It's got a classic Pinot Noir. It's $10. It's an estate wine. It's made better than you would normally see. When the tasting notes, this one actually has tasting notes for an ALDI wine. It's on Sheed Family Vineyards. I think I got a link to it on the website. They have tasting notes. They have all that stuff for it. They're taking credit for the wine, which is always good to see. Sometimes with Costco, Trader Joe's, every time you get a store brand where you don't really know who made it, often it's really high-end people who made it for it. You just don't know. But it's good to have someone tell you what's going on, because if you're spending the money, you should know a little bit about it. Take another sip. This is a $10 Pinot Noir that will go well, is very worthy of the Thanksgiving celebration. And why Pinot Noir is one of the grapes that are almost always suggested for Thanksgiving. Turkey is a very mild meat, doesn't have a lot of flavor, it can be easily overpowered, and a lot of the dishes that go along with it are all kind of harvest type of meals. This is the end of it's right before winter, it's the end of autumn. Sometimes it's even winter hits you by Thanksgiving. But cherries, which are the predominant flavor of this, work for that. This is a lighter bodied wine. It's got cherry flavor that kind of goes. It's got some funky, cool flavors in there. And some people don't like that, but when you have a bite of meal or turkey and dressing and all the things that come, all the great sides, and then you sip it with Pinot Noir, it automatically makes sense. It's one of those things where if you're not used to drinking wine with your food and you're having actually a really well-cooked meal and a nice glass of wine, it just takes it up a notch or several notches. So that's it for me, William Wright, Monterey Pinot Noir 2020. What else do I have to say for myself here? Yeah, it's $10 and it's well worth the price. It tastes way better than $10. This is a quality Pinot Noir. So that's it for me, Domain Dave, cheapwinefinder.com. What I got to say, you got to like us, really like your podcast and all that such thing. And I still have the Thanksgiving wine coming up and more. We got some eyes and a few other things we got to talk about because the holidays are coming. So there you go. Keep it cheap. Stay safe. Stay warm or dry, whatever's happening out there. And I'll be talking to everybody in a few days. Got a few things going down this week, so it might be a little bit of a gap. But adios. Keep it cheap and bye-bye.